Hello guys, welcome to the presentation today. Okay, let me introduce. My name is Muhammad Rozikin. I will the presentation about online learning. Okay, let me to share screen. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before we start the presentation today, let's pray helpfully as smoothness and peaceful. Online learning quality control in the pandemic COVID-19 era in Indonesia. The COVID-19 pandemic that hit the world in early 2020 has rapidly changed the structure of people's life. Including Indonesia, the world of education is forced to replace face-to-face learning with online learning. The rector of UNP has pulled up on the central government policy to shift the face-to-face or conventional learning process into online learning. Okay, next. Challenge during the pandemic use of learning in mathematics learning and higher education on March 16, 2020. Many universities in Indonesia began implementing online based learning to replace lecture in the classroom. This is done away to reduce the transmission of the COVID-19 outbreak in Indonesia. There is an opinion that with the implementation of online learning, especially in mathematics education study program, there are many obstacles when learning takes place. The study aims to determine the obstacles that arise after the implementation of online learning in mathematics learning in higher education. The impact of COVID-19 pandemic on online learning process in the college at Southeast Sulawesi. The high crisis that occurred due to the COVID-19 pandemic has an impact on the education sector. Universities in Southeast Sulawesi issued a policy to study at home during the COVID-19 emergency response period. Of the assistance of the study at home policy caused the change in the learning process cannot be done directly and is transferred to online learning. The research objective was to determine the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic of the online process of universities in Southeast Sulawesi. Advantages, limitation, and recommendation for online learning during COVID-19 pandemic era. The spread of COVID-19 has led to the closure of the educational institution all over the world. This tested the preparedness of universities to deal with a crisis. The request to have advanced technology, including hardware and software, to enable effective online learning. Some closer accelerate the development of the online learning environment so that learning would not be disturbed. Many universities have become interested in how to best deliver course content online, engage learning, and conduct assessment. Hence, COVID-19 while being a hazard to humanity as a corporate institution to invest in online learning. Learning COVID-19 pandemic era scan technology, engineering, and mathematics competencies and student character. Distance learning or online learning is the recommended alternative form of learning, but is still unclear what competencies are important to be mastered by students. This study aims to examine what important competency component need to be prioritized and how to be relation between these components. Physical impact of student online learning during the pandemic COVID-19. The Indonesian government formally enforced the rule of study, worship, and work from home from March 16, 2020. Managing and limiting meeting involving physical contact is an effort to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 virus. This condition have implications for the effectiveness of the learning process in higher education. The purpose of the study was to identify the impact of student psychology on online learning during the COVID-19 pandemic. Challenges of home learning during a pandemic took the eyes of a student. The COVID-19 pandemic took the world by surprise. Globally, everything has stopped. Projects have been delayed. workplace, closet, and school should turn. The world seems to have gone to half because of the novel coronavirus. However, students continue their education through online learning and via video call with their teacher. Especially in big cities such as Jakarta, the model is currently the best alternative as keeping school open process a safety like for students. Online teaching learning in higher education during lockdown period of COVID-19. The whole educational system from elementary to a tertiary level has been collapsed during the lockdown period of the novel coronavirus disease 2018 or COVID-19, not only in India but across the globe. This study is a portrayal of online teaching learning most adopted by the Nizam University for the teaching learning post and subsequent matter examination is look forward to an intellectually research opportunity for further future academic decision making during any adversity. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed education forever. This is how. While countries are different point in their COVID-19 infection rate worldwide, there are currently more than 1.2 billion children in 186 countries affected by school closure due to the pandemic. In Denmark, children up to change of 11 are school after identity closing on 12 March, but in South Korea, students are responding to rule call from their teacher online with the student still away from the classroom in many parts of the globe. Some were wondering whether the adoption of online learning will continue to persist post-pandemic and how such a shift would impact the worldwide educational market. Even before COVID-19, there was already high growth and adoption in education technology, with global effort investment matching 1866 billion in 2019, and the overall market for online education projected to reach 350 billion by 2025, whether in the language, a virtual tutoring video conferencing tool, or online software. There has been a significant such as usage COVID-19. Student response and learning in the early COVID-19 pandemic. The coronavirus disease or COVID-19 pandemic forced many universities to apply online learning. The purpose of the study was to break down online learning process in the early pandemic, as well as effective and optimal online learning. This is alternative research. And I have a quotes. Perhaps the current pandemic makes all order of human life change very quickly, but I believe behind the pandemic there is a power that can restore all the way with always praying and praying to the Lord the Almighty. Mungkin di balik pandemi ini merubah tatanan kehidupan manusia sangat cepat, tapi saya percaya di balik pandemi ini ada sebuah kekuatan yang bisa mengubah segalanya, yaitu dengan selalu berusaha, berdoa dan berusaha kepada Tuhan Yang Maha Kuasa. Malang February 15, 2021. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for your time. Hopefully useful. Please, if you have a question. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.